Stop thinking your way into paralysis. Today, we break the overthinking loop once and for all. Welcome to Energy Alignment for Entrepreneurs, where we help driven people create peace without losing their edge. Today, you'll discover how to escape the mental hamster wheel, why overthinking is just fear wearing a disguise, and what to do when you literally cannot move forward. So, we'll start with the former, how to escape the mental hamster wheel. And the structure of this hamster wheel is pretty much that you're going without realizing you're going, right? If we were to just keep it simple. Now, what is the main component which distracts you from realizing that you're going in circles? Answer that for me. What would it be? One, two. It would probably be something like thought, wouldn't it? Now, what's the one fundamental to all humans? All humans think, don't they? Right? So, some humans seem to be successful, but they still think, right? Then other humans seem to be diabolical or sick or crazy. They think in different ways. So, the mental hamster wheel is built upon a fundamental or foundation of thought. Now, the question is, what is our relationship to our thinking? And can you change how you think? Now, will thinking always be a field of limitation? That's the question. And I used this metaphor or analogy, something like that, in last video, whereas thought and time go together, but then there are insights via light speed, epiphanies that are beyond thought and time. I like to say that sometimes it feels as if God has shot the arrow into your mind. It just comes like a lightning bolt, and then you get that insight. You ever get those shower thoughts? The difference between a chain of thought and a light speed insight is that you could think brick by brick by brick and get to a conclusion. That's what I would label analysis. But then there's another way of thinking, which is negation, where you're looking at your thinking. You're actually not thinking in an additive manner, but you're taking your initial thought and you're questioning it. You're inquiring into it. You're bringing curiosity and courage into understanding, okay, so the flower created that blossom, but what is the nature of the flower to blossom in that manner? Like, how did it grow? What was its environment? What are the roots of that blossom? That's a negation style of thought, which is still similar. It's still surely a limited field. It's not the magical method to awakening negation, but it is one of the most powerful tool belts you could ever have, right? Prerequisites to escaping a mental hamster wheel would be clarity around simple fundamentals, meaning sleep, sunlight, fresh air, simple nutrition, and exercise. Then we get a little bit more complex. We would talk about like heavy metals, your relationship to your thinking. And that's where the negation is extraordinarily. Hey, Rachel, you want to shut my office door? Or should I do it? I'll shut it. Okay, I'm not sure where I was just at, but I feel that we were touching on the contrast of light speed epiphany and thought, but also the fundamentals which are needed to escape a mental hamster wheel. And right, we went over those practicalities. Now, I was kind of getting into stage 2, but you don't need to obsess too much over like fluoride and heavy metals and Wi-Fi signals, and that stuff matters. But I'll give you the simple game plan. I would say when you're not using your phone, fucking throw it on airplane mode, right? Don't buy fluoride toothpaste. If you can get well water, get well water. I mean, if you want to get a reverse osmosis water filtration system, you can do that. But I don't want you to start thinking, oh, I need to get these things. It's not like that. It's really not like that. Naturally, the universe will present you with the tools that you need for awakening. You have to trust in source. And that can be so much harder than anything, right? Think about Viktor Frankl. I don't care if you're, what's the word? Like, you think the Holocaust didn't happen. Just take the essence of what I'm about to say. You don't need to believe the Holocaust happened or didn't happen. But look at Viktor Frankl. His story was pretty much what kept him alive in the Holocaust was realizing who else is going to be the positive light for all the people in his situation. He realized somehow, some way, he had to be the strong one. And that's what kept him alive. That's the essence of his book, really. If I were to summarize it, that's the essence of his book. That's how you escape the mental hamster wheel, is you realize you are powerful. You will naturally have moments where your life feels so amazing. And then you also have these days where everything feels like a tornado. But through staying aware, no matter what the universe is presenting you with, you realize that it's always for you. The pain, the hardship, the heartbreak, the wins, the roller coaster, the drama. And then you start to simplify. You begin to notice that you're the creator. You detach from this emotional, additive sense of self. You still move, right? I'm very much Justin. Look, I'm wearing some material things. I have 2 rings. I'm not dressing in robes and weird stuff like that. You gotta find your style. You gotta create your life via honesty, via integrity, via your truth. The only way you can align with your truth is by being rigorous and brutal in relationship to your own psyche. Negation is an amazing method for understanding the nature of your psyche. For example, you have a stimulus, could be tires screeching. The tires screeching could bring up a memory, a past experience. Then you begin to start thinking in relationship to what that stimulus triggered, the memory, the past experience. Then maybe you start thinking about the friend which you had that experience with, where maybe you went drifting. That's where the tires were screeching in your past. Then you start thinking about that friend and how much you miss him or how he did. And you notice, oh my gosh, my psyche can be observed. And can my psyche ever be still? Can I ever have a form of clarity which is beyond thinking? I'm not making these questions up. You will start to have potent questions arise in your being as you do this work. Because usually what humanity is so used to is additive thought. But when we begin to think in a negation style, we understand our roots. We see how we notice and we see what seeds we have sown. And we realize, oh wait, those blossoms are created via seeds. The blossoms aren't there by accident. And you live your life extraordinarily intentionally. Not with motive, not with force, not with self-interest. See, these nuances are part of it. Because I'm speaking in a way where I'm inviting you to read between the lines. Hence why I'm a walking contradiction. I don't have a problem with that. Because it's contradiction in an honest way. I'm not lying to you. I'm not playing a role. I'm not wearing a mask. Well, I'm doing my best to shine light. Obviously, we all have a sense of self. There's levels to this, right? Some people in their sense of self, their ego, they have no relationship to their truth. But me, I'm doing my best to let my truth guide this ego's time on this world. Now, I say I'm doing my best, right? What else can I say? I'm doing my best. And here, let's get into the next point because we're 12 minutes in. Why overthinking is just fear wearing a disguise. Well, geez, look at that. What did I just say in the past 30 seconds? I kind of talk a little bit about the sense of self, and I'm doing my best. Overthinking and fear are self-centered creations. When you're self-centered, of course you're going to overthink. Of course you're going to have fear. Yes, overthinking is fear wearing a disguise. It takes a extraordinary connection to source, to heart, to truth, to not seek security via planning, via logical and rational planning. Now, of course, I'm not saying don't tie your camel. Like, that would be silly to not tie your camel. Of course, that's a biblical phrase. I'm just using that reference because it makes sense, right? If you have a wild animal and that horse, that camel, whatever is your instrument for transport and travel, well, then that's important. Tie your camel, give him some water and some food and tie him for a few minutes, right? Don't leave him there forever. So the essence here is that you need to mix logical living with not seeking too much security via thought. And that can be very tough to realize that the truth comes by not seeking it. Then you're kind of left with the question of, well, what to do, right? What to do is to feel every moment. When you feel every moment, truth is present. When you feel every moment and truth is present, then that's the realist of security. The realist of security is the unsecurity required to listen to the moment. To listen to the moment, you cannot have plans, motives. You cannot force things. So you have to be loose, so strong, so vulnerable, hence the immovable mover. The mover. Now, what to do when you literally can't move forward? I like to make the last one a little bit practical because I just enjoy speaking philosophy. And philosophy, really, by definition, is the love of truth on a moment to moment basis. That's what real philosophy is, not armchair neuroticism. I'm better than you, packaged as some bullshit, No, that's not what we're doing here. I'm not better than anyone, not the homeless man. No one. Maybe I have bigger muscles than the homeless man. That doesn't mean, we have to read between the lines here, okay? Now, as you do this, your relationship to everything in life changes. When you notice how you think, your brain rewires, the cells literally change. Hence, how people have cured themselves from being paralyzed and things like that. The power is in here, not just your mind, your being in totality. What to do when you can't move forward? Practicality, pen, paper, if it's really bad. Pen, paper, write it out. What's really bad? It's not really bad. Those are just words, okay? You could go pen, paper. You could go cross-legged, sit on grass. You could stretch a little bit. When you literally can't move forward, when your psyche is eating you alive, you can go work out. You can go run, walk in the forest, clean stuff, clean your house, wipe down the counters, vacuum, organize, throw things away. Don't throw everything away. Throw things away that you don't need. Okay, these are very simple, practical things that you can do if your thought psyche is just chaotic. It feels like you don't know what to do. Now, obviously, I don't make the whole episode like that because I know not everyone is in that right now in this moment. But hey, yesterday it felt like I was raw. I just felt raw. And I observed that, and now today, I mean, it was a beautiful day yesterday, even feeling however I felt. It is as it is. And we just learn to change our relationship to what is. And as you realize the only constant is change, you get with it or you hold on and you get dragged by it. And that's it right there. You get with it or you hold on and you get dragged by it. Again, this guy, I guess I want to talk today because both the prior episode and this one, I'm a bit too long, so we're not doing a recap, but forgive me. I care for you. I appreciate you listening so much, and we'll keep it loose. We'll keep it real. That's my one promise for you. Keep it loose, keep it real. And if you know someone who would really benefit, who you think would just love to hear a message like this, please share it with them. Please. That's your responsibility. And besides that, if you want to get jacked in good shape or work on your metabolic health, work on your relationship to your thinking, walk this real, honest spiritual path, anything that I talk about in my videos, just check the link below. No pressure, just a little opportunity for both of us. And hey, I appreciate you more than I can express via the word. Thank you for listening. Let's go.